The Implicit Bias pledge is about to lose his pledgeship here on Implicit Bias. Why? Because Walker Griffon has not worn his pledge pin in like 2 months. Have you noticed that, Caleb?
I wasn't going to say anything. I'm trying to help him out a little bit.
No. We are not helping Walker out. You have to earn the right to be a member of the crew here on Implicit Bias. We don't just give it out.
He did say that it's next to his bed and he kisses it to sleep every night.
Yeah, all right. Renee, what do you want to chime in?
Walker just grew a pair and he says, I'm a man. That's it. I ain't wearing that pledge pin no more.
Yeah. in between him saying, thank you, sir, may I have another? 6 degrees of Walker Griffon, a.k.a. Kevin Bacon. All right, I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. This is Implicit Bias. You heard the voice of the rustic renegade, Caleb Morse. You heard the voice of Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. He is Rene Girard. The other guy at the bar is Brian Harmon of Dupree Carrier Godshaw. So somebody, actually one of our listeners, said that we need to give you the nickname Hold Harmless. I kind of liked TMI, Brian Harmon, but Hold Harmless just kind of fits.
It flows with the last name. I'll have a mic eventually.
Yeah.
It flows with the last name and everything. You know, Brian, Hold Harmless.
All right, Brian, so what do you think about the nickname?
Harmon.
Because it doesn't matter. So let's go to
Right.
Walker, who is also here. Walker, it's nice to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. Glad you could make it. So for those who don't know, normally we record in the evening. This particular show, we are actually recording at about noon. So it's day drinking with Implicit Bias as we sample our weekly whiskey in our weekly whiskey segment. And let's dive right in, fellas. So this one, and I'm going to actually reach over here through the mic, Gentleman's Cut Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey comes in at 92 proof. The proof on this is not going to come in and it's not going to wipe you out. The question becomes, how does it hold up? Because we are proof hounds here in the Top Secret Podcast lair. We like things that come in at 107, 110, 115. Caleb, I'm curious as to what you think. Let's talk to you first.
So I'm very impressed by this, first and foremost. I read the back label and Stephen, whatever how you pronounce it, Curry, Mr. Curry. He's part of this. He's one of the owners. I even like the name of their distilling or their company. It's called Game Changer LLC. I like what they did with it. And at 90 proof, man, this is pleasant on the nose. I got milled oats, like a fresh oatmeal out the gate, then brown sugar, and then it finishes with like grass, like nice fresh, not cut grass, but like just a summer field or a spring field of fresh grass. And then
does it have to be in a certain region? Because we know how picky you get about stuff like that.
This could be West Texas.
Are we talking about Florida? Are we talking about West Texas?
This could be
Louisiana,
West Texas grass.
Southern Arkansas.
That nice blonde golden field of West Texas grass. That's what I say.
Okay.
And then on the palate, when you roll it in the glass, it's got some legs to it. You know, it's a little viscous and it hangs on to the edge of the glass. You can see it. You can see it run down slowly. But I was surprised how thin the flavor is. And when I say thin, it doesn't really linger. So I immediately got honey, followed by orange zest.
Okay.
So I get a little orange zest out of it. Then vanilla, and then the finish, I was trying to put my finger on it, and I finally got it. Have you ever had cooked red apples?
Yes.
So I get definitely like a cooked red apple on that. Still with the skin, not just a cleaned red apple, like still with the skin.
Still with the skin.
Yeah.
Is the apple an Oregon apple or a Washington apple? Are we talking about an African swallow or a European swallow? I mean, come on.
It's got to be unladen.
Unladen. Okay.
Yeah.
Long as it's unladen.
Yeah. So I am thoroughly impressed by this. For that 92 proof, the bottle looks great. It smells really pleasant. And this is, for the time of day that we're having this is a perfect choice.
Okay. Let's go to the bar, see what the bar thinks. Brian, why don't we start with you? Because I'll be curious to feel how you understand this one, or be curious to hear how you understand this one, because you typically like stuff at a little bit lower proof level than maybe some of the other guys here in the TSPL.
I do. Y'all kind of won me over on the argument. I am enjoying some of the higher proof stuff now, but what got me into whiskey was always the lower stuff, 85, 95 proof, things like that. On the nose, I like it. I was interested to hear what you would say. I am picking up a little bit, but what I think you're describing is like a grass. I'm more of like a lumber mill. I'm and banana, but a banana peel. I don't know why that is, but that's what I'm picking up on the nose. Now on the taste profile, I know the front end I'm enjoying a lot. I don't care for that little lingering. I think I call it the back end. You call it the finish.
Yeah.
It's not as enjoyable as the front end. I'm usually in agreement. Everybody, when y'all taste it, I think I'm going to be a little harsher on this one than what I have been in the past on some of them. But all in all, it is a good midday drinker. It's nothing impressive to me. It's not terrible. It's not fantastic. It's somewhere right in the middle comfortably.
All right. So Renee, what about you?
Well, I don't pick up a whole bunch of flavor other than a little bit of pepper. I'm getting a pepper out of it. The aroma, no, I'm not getting it. It's okay. Just not something super impressive to me. I mean, it's a whiskey. It'll get you drunk if you drink enough of it.
Well, that is what they tend to do if you overconsume, right? As opposed to taste, as we are going to do here, which is nice to know that maybe Renee won't transform into drunkle here on the show for this particular episode.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not much on midday drinking. So, I like the night drinking.
Look, day drinking when done correctly can be tons of fun, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole. Okay, so I'm going to ask this question because there's something that I get off of this. And no one has mentioned it, and we're going to hear from Walker in just a minute to see kind of what Mikey thinks of it here in the TSPL. I am getting not a licorice flavor, but almost a licorice characteristic on the nose. I'm not getting a ton of black licorice flavor, but it is such a hint.
Yeah, that might be that bitterness I'm taking because I'm not a big licorice fan, and it's just a little bitterness peppery that I'm getting. That could be it right there.
It's a slight hint of it, and you don't get it right away. It's like in the middle of the scent is where you get it.
It's in the nose. It's definitely not on the palate. On the palate, I get that brown sugar in oatmeal, not just brown sugar, kind of when brown sugar starts to emulsify in the oatmeal.
Yeah.
And you get that aroma off of it where you get those milled oats, you get the sweetness, you get that little bit of dark flavor to it, that umami with it. I get that with this, but that licorice, that hint of licorice on the nose kind of jumps out at me. Walker, what about you? I saw you nodding your head over there.
Well, when I first took a sip, I got the brown sugar, but I couldn't tell what it was mixed with. And now that you said oatmeal, I get that now. Really good, smooth, definitely a day drinker. I like it a lot, though.
So as Caleb sets up the Implicit Bias Whiskey Tasting Journal, which, by the way, you can find on Amazon, you can find it and order it. It's got the full wheel on it. He sets it up and then lets it fall over across our sunglasses. That's okay. This one, I do like it, and I do get those flavors on it. I don't know how much I like it, which is going to be interesting because like Renee said, this is not one that I think jumps out at me. It doesn't, tap dance up and down the aisle, but it's also not bad. So I'm curious to see where it falls.
I would like more of it.
Well, there's more in the bottle.
When I say more of it, like
which we know you're going to drink anyway.
I'm going to have more. I would like more flavor, like if the flavors lasted longer, or maybe a little bit more aggressive flavor. It's very, very gentle.
It is.
So that's why when I say it's a good day drinker, it's very gentle, very easy to drink. I would just like more flavor, I think, out of this one. Whichever one that it wants to choose to accentuate, that's the one that I would like.
I'm almost of the opinion that if they left it a little higher proofed, it would not be as good, because I think some of those hints that we get that we don't like, I think they would be accentuated. It's almost like it would be too much.
Guess the age on this. Now it has a range. So if you want to try to guess the age on this one.
I'm gonna guess somewhere 4 to 6 years.
That's my guess as well.
Okay.
3.
5 to 7 is what they say. So I would call it 6. So y'all are right on the nose. I think with a little more maturity, you would get a lot more flavor out of this.
Fair. I could absolutely see that. And Aaron, who actually makes video happen, he doesn't have a microphone, and he because we asked him about a 360 camera, he has not come upon a 360 camera. I get the feeling he doesn't want people to be able to see the whole room. We're going to sort that out. Hopefully, we'll sort that out before November 5th when we bring you implicit ballots, because that's going to be a really, really interesting evening here in the TSPL. Speaking of interesting, let's go ahead and rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code. And we've got an announcement because we're going to play What Would You Pay? But it's the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain presented by Box Drop here in Lafayette. You need a mattress, call Box Drop. They can take care of you, specializing in big names at much, much more affordable prices. So let's start at the bar. Where do we rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code? Is it a red? I wouldn't drink it even if it was free. Is it a yellow? I would only drink it if it was free. Is it a green? I would buy this. Or is it a blue? I would seek this out. Renee?
I'm going to have to give it a yellow. It's just,
Okay.
It's drinkable, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to seek this one out. I'm not going to buy this one.
Okay.
You did, so I'm happy.
Well, look, our weekly whiskey partners provide this for us so that we can give them an honest accounting of what we think of the liquid that's in the bottle. So that is what we do. Let's go to the bar. And Brian.
I'm going to give it a yellow as well. It's a close to being a green. It's not bad. I don't want to talk anybody out of not trying it because I encourage everyone to. But just like Caleb had said, this is on its way of being a pretty tasty beverage, man. It's there. It's the back end for me that I don't enjoy. That's why I'm going to go ahead and give it a yellow instead of a green.
Okay. Walker, what about you?
Solid green. I like this a lot.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I enjoy this.
So what is it about it that specifically you enjoy? What flavor jumps out at you that you say, man, this is why I like this?
That brown sugar and like oatmeal mix. I
Okay.
get that. I like that a lot. I don't know. Just like the taste. It's not too heavy, strong. It's smooth. So
It's probably because of those Quaker oatmeal packets you've been opening since you were like 7 years
I was
old.
waiting. I had that on deck. I was waiting to say it, and you beat me to it. Man, I was robbed.
All right, Caleb, where do you rate this?
First, I want to know, Brian, are you a back end kind of guy? Like, I'm just curious here because you've said back end like 10 times.
I started life as a front end.
Yeah,
I've moved to the back end.
Suspension is where it's at. I'm right there with y'all, man. This is a yellow.
And don't worry.
That reminds me of the story you told about how you
Met my wife?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. You told that on the last episode.
And see, here's what I was going to say. Front end suspension is just as important as rear end suspension. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Caleb.
Balanced. But yeah, it's a solid yellow for me. Like, I would like more flavors, a little bit more profile out of this. I think that if they ever release a little older one, it'll be phenomenal. This is a great entry. Do yourself the justice and honor of getting this. Please go to New News or your closest whiskey sponsor for us and scoop one up. I don't know how much it costs. I'm going to tell you that right now.
We're about to play What Would You Pay for the box drop. What would you pay championship belt chain? So why don't you go ahead and throw in your guess, and then we'll go in reverse order and we'll award the championship belt chain.
I'm going to come in at $47.
$47. Walker.
50.
50. All right. Hold harmless.
I'm not going to throw this one like I said I would last time, but I'm going to say $39.
39. Renee.
45.
45. All right. So the box drop, what would you pay? Championship belt chain goes to Caleb Morse. This is a $79 bottle at New News. Yes, if you can pass the chain so I can pass that to him.
Wait, Caleb, what'd you say?
No, wait.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Walker got it.
Yeah, Walker. I thought Caleb had said 50. It was Walker who said 50.
Sorry, I got all excited.
Which means that we're going to have to hand the championship belt chain all the way over to
down
Walker.
the line.
And Walker gets to wear the belt chain for the rest of the show, which is going to be tons of fun because let me tell you, election season is always fun here on Implicit Bias. And what we've got coming your way on November 5th, you are not going to want to miss it. So we've got some big things in between now and then. We've got this show where we're announcing implicit ballots. Next week, we are back at Mr. Lester Steakhouse, Cypress Bayou Casino. Trust me, you want to make your reservations now. Things are starting to get really tight as they get into the holiday season. So if you don't get your reservations now, you might miss out. And then the following week, we are going to have on the Tuesday night implicit ballots. We'll give it 48 hours, see if we get all the results in. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, which they should be in because entire countries can get theirs in. And so anyway, we'll get to that later in the show. But we'll then do that Saturday's episode of Implicit Bias that Thursday night, which will drop on Saturday. Should be tons of fun in the Implicit Bias universe because implicit ballots, I'm going to warn everybody, it's going to be a live stream, which means that there is no editing. No, I know.
Look, it doesn't happen all the time, but I try
Really?
to raise my hand.
No, you don't.
Caleb, whenever Caleb does something like that and has to drop an F-bomb, I say has to drop an F-bomb like it's an imperative. No, decides that he would like to add one for some spice.
It brings in emphasis.
He normally does this. He's like, hey, Walker, I'm going to curse, and then throws his hand up. It's like, you're late here, bud.
I think Caleb's going to just throw in extras just because he can.
Maybe I'll get some yellow flags.
Oh yeah, get some of the referee flags. You just throw the.
You know what we should get? I wish they had like a ballot challenge card, because what we would do is we'd just get ballot challenge cards and start throwing them out for Caleb.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That would be fantastic.
Or like in soccer, the yellow card, red card type thing.
No, I don't know. I don't play soccer.
No, you don't even watch it?
No. Why?
Oh, wait.
Why would I watch soccer?
That was the other guy that used to do that.
That was Sam. Rest in peace. Anyway, that is not something. No, not a soccer guy. Grew up playing football when you could take multiple shots to the head. The coach would say, you just got your bell rung. Go back in. And that's what you did, which maybe explains a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe it explains an awful lot. But it's going to be a fun couple of weeks here on Implicit Bias because, man, we are going to be busy. We're going to have lots of stuff out there, and we'll kind of tell you how that live stream is going to work. We are actually working on the picture-in-picture technology, so you will see whatever we are watching here in the TSPL. You will then also have us switch in between everything, and it's going to be live, full-on reaction as we get into the results. We're going to start at 8:30 p.m. Why? Because we're Central Time Zone. I know that a lot of states on Eastern Time Zone will have or should have their results coming in by 8:30, 9 o'clock. We're already told, and we're going to talk about this on the show, that, man, some states are saying, yeah, we might not know for a couple of days, which is a whole nother point of, as Caleb would say, emphasis. So we have 1 minute because Walker's giving me the finger from the corner, which we're going to give him the finger back, but we're going to be nice about it. We're not going to show it on camera. And we're not going to do it in a way that you'd want to see anyway. And that's okay, because we're going to come back with more Implicit Bias right after this.